Hello, and welcome to the first ever episode of our podcast. I'm Jarod.
This is weird, man. This is crazy. This was like, what, 3 years in the making?
Yeah, are you going to introduce yourself to
I'm sorry. I'm Dante. I'm Jarod's other half.
And welcome aboard. Welcome to the Cliff. This is something that we've been talking about doing for, years. Literally years.
I graduated 2015. You graduated 16. Probably shortly after that.
Yeah, I think we've probably been talking about either making a YouTube channel or a podcast or like some sort of something for as long as I've been in college.
Yeah. And you're about to graduate, so it's been
we're both about to graduate. Like, this is wild. So welcome to our podcast. It's called The Cliff because basically we're going to take whatever jumping off points we decide to talk about in this episode and in any episode in the future and jump off that cliff and just, have some conversations. And whatever comes up, so be it. And if you have anything that you want us to talk about, send us a message. Shoot us a message on our personal accounts on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, or on any of our social media networks for this podcast. All of them are at The Cliff Podcast. So go take a look, give us a follow, and we hope that you enjoy.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, SoundCloud, Anchor, YouTube. Jesus, what else?
Twitter, Facebook,
Instagram, all at The Cliff Podcast, like Jarod said. My Instagram is DNTMSN, and his Twitter and Instagram is the Jarod so far.
Yes, indeed.
So Jarod with an O, not an E.
Please spell it right. Please.
You will not be able to find him.
You'll find a million other people, but if you type in like my name spelled correctly, I think that I'm the first person that shows up on like the search bar.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive.
Well, that's good.
So at least if you type in the Jarod and spell it right, I know that always works. So,
worth a try. You got like 5 different choices.
Yeah, give it your best shot, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, so what do you want to start off with, man? Game 1 tonight, the playoffs for
hockey. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Go fucking Sharks.
Go Sharks, yeah.
This has probably been the greatest postseason I've seen in sports in a long time.
Easy, but like we had this conversation the other night, and the World Series a couple years ago, the Dodgers and Astros will always be awesome, but that was just the finals. That was just the World Series itself. It wasn't actually the entire postseason.
Yeah, I can't remember anything about that postseason from, I guess it was, 2017? Because I was in my apartment.
Yeah.
So, 2017. And, this hockey postseason has been insane.
We've had, 5 Game 7s almost?
I think.
4 or 5? It has to be.
I know there have already been more games that have gone to overtime this postseason than in the entire postseason from last year.
Yeah,
double overtime games, Game 7s. It's been crazy. It's been really crazy.
Tonight we're looking at the Blues and the Sharks, Game 1 in San Jose.
Yes, indeed.
Last night was Game 1 of Carolina and the Bruins. We hate the Bruins.
Man, I just hate Marchand. I hate him so much.
Yeah, Marchand, if you ever come across this.
Hey, Brad. First of all, what are you doing listening to this podcast?
We appreciate it.
Second of all, do you want to sponsor us? Yeah.
Maybe we'll respect you a little more if you help us get sponsored on here. But, the main thing is we can't talk shit about the Bruins because Zdeno Chara is going to wreck our asses.
Well, Zdeno Chara, he's the one Bruin that I think that I'll always have full-blown love and respect for. Because I don't really have any other option.
Yeah, no. No, Tuukka Rask is okay, but he's the reason why they win games, so I don't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, it's crazy. We are Devils fans, so it's weird for us to root for the Hurricanes because they are in our division, but
the Devils had a really, really bad year, and, there were
bad year.
A million reasons for that, but, I just wanted to see, a cool postseason and, something fun, and, there were a lot of Devils that ended up in, on other teams in the playoffs.
Yep.
And so I was kind of just hoping that one of those guys would make it pretty far. And, not exactly the one that we wanted with Patrick Maroon making the conference final. But, no, it's been really interesting. And, I think that the Blues and the Sharks are going to have an incredible series. The Sharks, I think, infamously, can't get their goaltending together, and that's always kind of been their downfall. But this postseason, that has not been a problem at all, and they've kind of been firing on all cylinders. And then the Blues come in and Jordan Binnington just like
The
takes
rookie
over the
is
world.
insane.
Takes over the
But
world.
you have to think, I mean, the Sharks are coming off their second consecutive Game 7. Like, is it going to catch up to them?
It could. It really could. But
I think they have enough vets on that team where it might not matter. Like, if it was a young team, possibly. But I think, Joe Thornton's been in the season for 21 years.
Yeah. I mean, and they've got the playoff experience already. They've been to the Stanley Cup Finals before with this core. So, like, I think that it's going to be okay. I think they're going to be all right.
They have obviously added a couple pieces, but I like them over the Blues. But both the Western teams are fighting for the first cup.
I could see that series going 7 games as well.
If they go 7 games, whichever team gets out of that after just going 7 games and going into the finals, I don't think it's going to go well for them.
And it'll depend on what happens in the East, too. Because, I mean, with the Canes being, a wild card team, they've just had, like, a really good run in the playoffs. But, like, do they have what it takes to, first of all, survive Boston? But then, even if they survive Boston, it's not going to be a walk in the park. And then they're going to get to the Stanley Cup final.
Now with Marchand kicking you while you're down.
And, like, at that point, you're going to have to face either the Blues, who have been insane, or you're gonna have to face the Sharks and totally and I mean those are two teams that have been incredible, especially in the second half of the year.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm personally gonna say that whoever wins the Western Conference is gonna be my odds-on early favorite to win, whether the Bruins or the Canes make it to the Cup.
Yeah, because the West has hotter goaltenders right now than Canes have a hot goaltender, but you know what they say about hockey.
He's got like a thick ass, like.
yeah, that's exactly what I meant. That thick ass comes in handy in second overtimes.
Covers up the entire net. Yep. Can't get a puck past that fat ass.
But they've also run 2 goalies, which is not usually the case in hockey.
It's true. It's very true.
But Cam Ward was their goalie when we went to go see them in Raleigh.
It was Cam Ward and Scott Darling, and then they both ended up bouncing in the offseason and in trades and whatnot. And now they've got Mrazek, who they got in free agency, and McElhinney, I think he was in their system, if I remember correctly. But he's like 35. I mean, he's
doing it.
He's a career backup, but this year, the Canes were just fun this year. Like, they played with like this chip on their shoulder.
They had the surge.
Yeah.
Then Sherry called Sherry. Same thing. He called them a bunch of jerks, and they just rode that wave, and they took it.
It's really impressive. It's been a lot of fun to see them make it as far as they have. I mean, they definitely overcame the odds being a wild card team that was one of the last ones in and not really expected to do that well. I mean, they were expected to be better, but to be a playoff team and then to sweep the Islanders and to do what they did, like that's incredibly impressive. So
especially going into this offseason with the whole headline saying that we are willing to get rid of every single person except Sebastian Aho. They got rid of Skinner, and then he was having a phenomenal year. Like, they got rid of a few people that you would think would be key players, and then I guess the core that they just ended up with just fused.
Because of the year that Skinner had, especially that first half of the season, I just can't imagine. I mean, the Canes could have been a higher seed. Granted, they haven't even really needed to be. It worked almost out in their favor because of who they got to play against and how things got to go. But, if they still had Skinner on their team, and maybe Skinner was a problem or something. Maybe somehow he just didn't blend right.
Yeah, maybe he was behind the scenes. He just wasn't that guy.
But either way, it's been super cool. I'm excited about the NHL playoffs. I could not give less of a shit about the NBA playoffs. At all.
No, it's been the same for 4 years. Granted, LeBron is not in this one.
Finally.
But you're still looking at Golden State Warriors almost having a shoe-in for the finals. Who else? Because if they get past Houston, which is a 3-2 series right now for Golden State, you got to play Portland or Denver.
And they're going to Game 7 right now. And, Denver's been really good this year. And Portland, obviously they made it this far for a reason.
Yeah.
But, Denver ran with Golden State all the way to the end of the season in terms of seeding.
Yeah.
They're a good team. But it's the same thing every year.
Yeah.
And how many years are you going to watch? And don't get me wrong, I'm not like a Warriors hater. Like, I actually enjoy watching them play because they're just all-stars.
They're electric.
And they're fun to watch, and they built that team mostly on their own. Like, now they have KD from free agency and they got Boogie Cousins. But to start with drafting Steph and drafting Clay and drafting Draymond, like having those three, and that was what they had when they started this. Like they didn't have KD or DeMarcus Cousins in that first
They went
championship.
to 3 titles with just those core players.
To add on KD and to add on Boogie Cousins and then start doing even more beyond that point, like, I mean, this is a team that is like insane, but they're so much fun to watch because they are that talented and they are that good. I mean, I get how you cannot like it because if they're knocking your team out every year or just whatever, and there's the whole idea about that, but like, I mean, that's just the way the league is right now. There are so many like absolute all-stars, and like if they want to play together to win a championship, like I don't think you can really hate on that.
No, I mean, and I don't care enough about basketball to care like if a team goes to the finals 5 years in a row. Like, I'm a big NFL football fan, and everybody hates the Patriots. I think even if you don't watch football, you hate the Patriots.
Seems like it. Them and the Cowboys.
Yeah, and the Cowboys. But, I mean, hockey's just been on another level this season, and, I mean, I would love to go to a Canes game, like, when the Devils come down next season, because last year when we went 2 years ago, it was last year?
Last season, yeah.
Last season, I mean, it was phenomenal. Raleigh, beautiful. Greensboro, North Carolina is beautiful.
North Carolina is just really nice in general.
Yeah, and I'm going to Asheville next month.
There you go.
So, Jared and I are also talking about doing travel vlogs, I guess. We're going to buy a camera, film ourselves doing the podcast as well. You can find those on YouTube. And just, I go hiking a lot, so I'll bring the camera hiking. The camera that we have, or we're planning to buy, has a dash cam, so we can take road trips, videos and stuff like that. So we've been thinking about that a lot. I mean, you've gone to New Orleans?
Best trip of my life, still.
Yeah. You've gone to Charleston. Charleston's fun. I've been there.
It's a nice little beach, yeah, Folly Beach. I didn't get to do anything like in downtown Charleston.
Yeah.
But Folly Beach was really great. And I mean Nashville is always a lot of fun, especially going to going to see the Predators play the Devils that stadium was like incredibly fun.
Bridgestone.
Yeah,
that stadium apparently is one of the loudest, right?
Oh yeah, and you can feel it, and those fans are passionate for a city in the South that's like all about like music and you wouldn't expect it to be a hockey town, but I mean they've really embraced that team, and I mean I guess it's easy to when you're a good team and you're a playoff team, but they love their hockey. They'll call the announcer will be like 1 minute left in the first period, and they all go, "Thanks, Paul." Like
really?
And it's really funny. And they'll if the Predators are going on the penalty kill, they'll it would be like New Jersey Devils on the power play, and then they'll go, "And they still suck." Like they just have something for everything, and I'm sure they're not the only stadium that does that, but when it's like a basically sold out arena or very close to, and it's that many people, like it just is, it's so amplified. Like
the Jets fans, I went to a couple Jets games when I was a kid, and we did that. Like when they would announce like the Patriots and stuff, they would be like Vince Wilfork, and like the entire stadium would go sucks.
Yeah.
And then it was like Tom Brady sucks, and then like 2 hours later we're losing 44-7. So I was like,
but they suck.
But they still suck, so
Absolutely.
It's fine. But yeah, I've never been to Bridgestone. I've been to Prudential. Gone to the Devils Stadium, PNC Arena. I loved in Raleigh.
It was really nice. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like North Carolina is beautiful. Raleigh, Greensboro, especially Greensboro. I love Greensboro.
Big fan.
I'm excited to go see Asheville. I'll tell you the worst city I've ever been to. You go first. What's the worst city you've ever been to in your travels? Because what about that city in Mississippi with that weird Walmart?
My God, yeah. Let me see if I can find the name of that place because, so when I was driving to New Orleans, the plan was I was going to fill up my car with gas and just drive until either my car ran out of gas or until I just got too tired to stay on the road and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then I was going to find wherever I was and just make a little adventure out of it. And this was last December, and I was just driving, and I started out at home, and I made it out west, and I was I got through Alabama. I stopped for lunch in Birmingham, and then I get to I keep taking whatever roads I feel like taking, and I end up somewhere in the middle of Mississippi, and I realize, and at this point I've got to be 6 or 7 hours into this trip, and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't bring my phone charger with me. And I was so careful about everything else, about, like, making sure that I packed what I needed and, like, trying to grab everything and, like, not forget, like, even just the little things, you know, just to make sure that I had everything covered in case I needed anything for, like, that one night that I was going to be there. And I forget my fucking phone charger, and I'm about to take myself to a place where, like, I have no idea where I'm going to be. Like, and it's like, I was like, yeah, all right, nice going. So I had to pull off and get a car charger. And I pulled off in this town in Mississippi and at the Walmart there because it was, like, the first thing that came up on Google Maps. And, I mean, it was just, yeah, it was awful. I mean, it was, like, the most backwards ass area I could have gone to. And I think that I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful, though, because some guy in that town could be listening.
I don't give a shit. If you're from Laurel, Mississippi, just know that your Walmart made me uncomfortable. There.
To be fair, Walmart's all over the nation make me uncomfortable. But I mean, work there.
I mean, and, you know, we live in the South. So, yes. Like, especially Walmarts in the South bring a certain breed of people. A certain breed of people, if you will. Certain folks show up to Walmart.
After a certain time, though.
Yeah, and it was like the evening. It wasn't. I mean, it was December, so it was dark, but it wasn't like late at night. It was maybe 7:00. But it just felt like it was late because it was super. I mean, it was it was around Christmas time, so that's the way it is. But I pull off at the Walmart in Laurel, Mississippi, to buy a phone charger, and I was trying to decide I was gonna get, like, a car charger because I really needed one for that, and then, like, I could just, you know, whatever, or if I was gonna get, like, a regular charger. And I get in there, and I mean, I've never seen so much camouflage in one place. And I mean, that's just like I think I saw more camouflage in there than you would see on an actual battlefield.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous. Every single white person was wearing camouflage. And I mean, anybody that wasn't white was getting looked at because they weren't white. It was very...
I imagine that's how Mississippi is.
That's how
I've never been there.
That's how Laurel, Mississippi is like the white people there just really want there to only be white people there. And I could just feel it. And I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and you're white.
Yeah.
But I was telling you earlier, there's nothing like being the minority in a room full of other races is not bad, but being a minority in the room full of weird white people when you're white is the worst thing ever.
Being like the normal white person in the room of like backwards ass white people is
the worst thing ever. I can be in a room with any other race and I can be the only white dude in there and it won't bother me a bit. But being in, like, the other week, I was the only normal white guy in a shed warehouse looking thing full of weird white people, and I feared for my life so much.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, but weird white people don't understand that not everyone is a weird white with them. Like, exactly. So that's the thing about it to me is like they just want to like talk to you the way that I guess they talk to their other weird white friends, and it's like, yeah, I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
No, I'm just focused on your tongue going through your 4 teeth when you're trying to talk to me.
Like, it's a lot. I mean, yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I've had some interactions with some white people who just like don't have any understanding. Like, I mean, you can look at me and kind of understand who I am as a person. Yeah. And like people will look at me and try to like be like, like joke around about like the stuff that they think, and I'm like, yeah, do you see me right now?
Like, I look like I'm from the suburbs. I dress like I'm from the suburbs. I talk like I'm from the suburbs. I've never skinned a squirrel.
I've never even thought about skinning a squirrel.
I don't know how to aim a gun in a right spot to kill a deer. There's nothing about weird white folk that I can relate to besides the fact that we share the same skin tone.
Now, I've lived in Georgia since I was 5 years old, so I haven't gone to like an arcade anywhere else. Like all the arcades I've gone to have been here, because who the fuck goes on vacation and goes to an arcade? But like there's in all the big arcades here, like they have those games where it's like the Deer Hunter games. And I don't know if they have those at other arcades not in the South.
Don't they have those at Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah. They have it at our Chuck E. Cheese's here, and they have it at, like, I think they have it at Main Event.
It's like Big Elk or Big Deer, Big Joe.
Big Game Hunting.
Big Game Hunter. Big Game Hunter, that
Big
sounds
Game
right.
Hunter, yeah.
Big Joe. Big Joe.
Big Joe.
Big Joe.
He's downstairs.
Oh my god.
But, like, I don't know if they do those in, like, I mean, do you go to, like, Denver, Colorado and, like, play Big Game Hunter at the Chuck E. Cheese? Or is it, like, normal shit, like, pin the weed on the stoner? I don't know, like...
Give the stoner the shroom. That is now legalized.
Congratulations,
Colorado.
Denver.
Or I guess congratulations all of Colorado. We in Georgia are suffering over this damn abortion bill that's being passed, which we are actually going into more depth next episode. So if you want to talk about it or send questions about it, please let us know. We are doing as much research as we can about that topic so we don't sound like we're talking out of our asses.
Absolutely.
But no, it's also hard to talk about that stuff as males because like no uterus, no opinion, and I believe that's how it should stay. But obviously it's a bill that's going to affect everybody because you can't get pregnant as a female without another male. So it's going to affect everybody at one point.
I saw a comment today that was like somebody had said like, well, no uterus, no opinion. And somebody else had said, well, no, you can have an opinion, no uterus, no say. And I like that because
that's better.
Because, you know, I mean, you can have an opinion, even if it's the wrong opinion.
Because I think this bill sucks, and that's my opinion.
And that's my opinion. But like, I mean, we can have that opinion, but we shouldn't have any say in what like women are doing with their bodies. So like,
because we know nothing about it.
Yeah, like
I mean, I'll get a cramp after eating, and I'm down for like 45 minutes, and they just deal with it like a week out of the month. And like I always joke around with Sydney. Sydney's my fiance, by the way. I always joke around with her, like, every time she's on a period. I'm like, oh, it's in your head. Give up. But, like, if I even get a little bit of a cramp, I'm, like, snorting ibuprofen. I'm like, get the hell away from me.
Well, and did you see now that, and I don't know if this is true. I saw it in a tweet, and it looked like they had taken a screenshot from, like, an official report. I'm not sure.
One from Chicago?
From Ohio.
Chicago, Ohio. I keep calling the towns the state name, but you know what I mean.
Chicago's not even in Ohio.
So we're gonna wrap up the podcast right now.
Forever. We're canceling
Chicago, Ohio. Jeez, I'm so good at geography too.
Yeah.
I think I'm nervous, man. First episode on the cliff.
Clearly.
It's crazy.
Okay, though. But I mean, no, the one in Ohio where
birth control's banned.
Apparently they're going to ban all forms of birth control because that is like killing the potential fertilized eggs, and so that's abortion.
But that's just grown men not knowing what birth control actually does. Apparently it regulates the period, it's good for your skin, it helps your heart. Like there's a whole bunch of pros. It does a million
other things, but
both our girlfriends take it.
Mm-hmm.
I know countless other females, even as like 14, 15-year-olds, like even young people who are not even thinking about reproducing are taking birth control.
Because it does other things for you aside from just like keep you from getting pregnant.
But these 60-year-old men,
they hear the word birth and they're like, well, and they hear the word control.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we need to be controlling everything.
Yeah, they're like, white men, like something about us is not controlling that, so we're gonna make a bill so we can control it. But like we said, we're going into more details about that next week, or not even next week, just next episode. It could be tomorrow or 2 days. We'll see what the weekend brings.
We feel like it.
But
that being said, though, again, congratulations to Colorado for
just
being
being
able
the
to
best
take your mushrooms.
Ever.
Oh, and I was wrong yesterday. My flight was supposed to connect in Houston. It's connecting in Denver, so we had it switched.
Lucky.
So I am landing in Denver, and we'll be there for like a few hours.
Denver's a town or a city, I guess, city town. So I would love to go there, and I don't even smoke weed. Like I don't want to go there for anything like weed or drug wise, but like the hiking that's up there, just the scene that's up there, I would love it. A lot of good stand-up comedies over there.
Really?
Yeah, I hear it a lot on Joe Rogan's podcast. It's like one of his favorite places to perform. He used to live in Boulder, Colorado.
Okay.
Tom Segura loves it over like a lot of the guys that I listen to, they love Denver, and they say it's a good comedy scene. So I mean, Denver already has everything else. Might as well just throw some good comedy in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it can't be any worse than Chattanooga.
Okay, yeah. It's funny because we were talking about like the worst places we've been to, and until you mentioned Laurel, Mississippi, I was probably gonna say Macon, Georgia, just because, God, Macon sucks.
What about Dublin, Georgia?
Dublin, Georgia is Yeah.
But Chattanooga, the city I hate the most, but never actually set foot in.
I mean, did you even make it all the way to Chattanooga that
I don't
night?
know. I just saw the sign and I freaked out.
Because the sign says Chattanooga all the way to Chattanooga. So, like...
I don't care.
Like, it says that in Atlanta. So, like, you might not have even made it out of the city before
I don't
you saw
care.
that.
So, the backstory on this is I popped my tire one day in Atlanta. I know nothing about cars. I don't know how to change a tire. I'm more knowledgeable on the subject now. But back then, I had no idea how to change a tire. So my dad drives all the way to Atlanta, about an hour, helps me change my tire, and he goes, hey, just hop on the highway, stay on the right, and just keep going. And I heard stay on the right, and I know the way home. I know I have to go all the way to the left to go to Greenville. But I just, in my mind, I'm being so flustered and so upset because I just got groped by a homeless man. It was a very weird night.
It was.
So I stay on the right side, and I'm driving. My dad calls me like 40 minutes later. He goes, hey, where are you? I go, I'm stuck in this fucking construction traffic. Where are you? He goes, construction traffic? Where are you? And I was like, on 85. And I'm like screaming at him. And I'm driving on a donut. Just like 40 miles per hour because you can't go fast.
Yep.
No music, no sound coming from my car. And I'm just driving in complete silence. Every time a car passes me, I apologize. I'm in the middle lane just driving. I drive for maybe another hour and a half. I go, where the fuck am I? Because I didn't get off where I was supposed to 2 hours ago. And I look up and I see Chattanooga. And I go... and I make a U-turn on the highway. And I start going home in complete silence. Get home about 2.5 hours later. My dad's waiting for me, and he goes, are you okay? I said, I don't want to fucking talk about it. To this day, never even got to Chattanooga, but never want to go there.
Just, oh man. I mean, that night was fucking crazy. And like, because I remember I had to drive home Casey after that show because you guys had driven together, but then with everything that happened, I was like, I'll take her, like, I got it. And I was like, just like, I was expecting you like to eventually like text me and let me know like, hey, I'm back, because like you're driving on a fucking donut. And like, yeah, and then I hear about all this after the fact, and I was like, oh my god, like, that night was a trip. I mean, because like the homeless guy, what did he say to you? Like, because he was like acting like he was gonna help you find parking, and then he was like, all I want is a cup of coffee because it's my birthday. Was that what it was?
Yeah, so Atlanta has a lot of parallel parking spots. I'm sure most of the people who are listening to us, who are our friends, know what Atlanta looks like. But yeah, Atlanta has the parallel parking spots. We were supposed to go to Goodfellas, that pizzeria, and if you have not gone to Goodfellas,
woo,
please go to Goodfellas and tell them Dante and Jarod sent you. They have no idea who the fuck we are.
But make them sponsor us.
But yeah, we're trying to get pizza out of here. But I'll upsell Goodfellas any day of the week.
Absolutely. They're right across the street from the Varsity, if that helps.
And if it also helps, the Varsity's absolute shit.
Facts.
So it's not even a choice. But the Goodfellas doesn't have parking lot, so you have to pay when you park there. We just left a concert early, and I was paying for parking, right? And a homeless guy comes up to me. He goes, hey man, I can give you help. I go, no, I have over a 20 IQ. I can definitely push these buttons and put these coins in. It's easy.
Yeah.
And he goes, nah, come on man, let me help you. I go, fine. I go, maybe he'll leave me alone if I let him help me. No.
Nope.
He grabs my hand and like pulls me in, and he goes, come on man, can I get a cup of coffee please? It's only like 70 cents and it's my birthday. I go, where is there a coffee for 70 cents? Because I drink coffee and I've never spent less than like $1 on it.
At least.
Yeah. And he goes, come on, man, I would do it for you. I go, how? You're asking me for 70 cents. I go, how the fuck would you buy me a cup of coffee? So he's not letting me go. And I go, you know what? And he looks at my car and he goes, come on, man, if this is your car, you got to have some change. And I immediately felt uncomfortable parking there.
Yeah.
Because if I'm leaving my car and he knows my car, he's going in my car. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have no ID on him. He probably has not had an ID on him for years by the feel of his hand. So there was no catching him, because what am I going to say? A homeless guy did it. That narrows it down to about 50,000 people. But
half of Atlanta.
So I'm like, okay, let me go around this is before the pre-pop tire, by the way. I'm sure they understood that. But so I go around and I start looking for my car, or start looking for change in my car, and I have my friend Casey looking behind me at the road. I go, tell me when it's clear. And she goes, it's clear. And I jump in and I run a red light. I don't care. I'm trying to get away from this dude. And I end up at Georgia Tech's campus. I hate Georgia Tech's campus.
Which, granted, is just right down the street. So,
Yes.
like, it's not like you were, like, miles and miles away.
Yeah.
You just basically turned away from Goodfellas and went down the road.
Yeah, and then you called me, and I'm driving with one hand, and I go to turn the corner. I run over a curb, which is such a normal thing to do. I have a Jeep. I should be able to run over curbs. And I just start hearing this noise. And at first I thought it was my bumper. And I was like, fuck. So I pulled over, and I get out of my car. Both my tires on my side are okay. So I'm like, all right. And the bumper's not down. And then Casey just looks at me, and I know immediately when I see the look that my tires popped. And my entire night just went to shit. And then I ended up in Chattanooga.
So, City of Chattanooga, you will not be sponsoring us in
No.
any of our future podcasts.
No. Dolly Parton, however.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, why not?
why not? Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing fine. She's
Let's
fine.
hope. I loved her in Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
But
That was a crazy night. And, you know, it sucks because now in the last, like year or so, we'll go to Goodfellas after those shows. And there is parallel parking on the street that's like, it's like the before the light to go to the parking lot that we used to park in all the time.
yeah.
And there's parallel parking right there. It's like right next to the Fox, and it's free after like 9 p.m.
I wish I knew that.
Yeah, don't you? So do I, because that could have saved us literally hundreds of dollars on Goodfellas parking over the last couple of years.
Yeah, we go there a lot.
It's just around the corner, so like it's just like an extra 2 minutes of walking. It's like you walk past the MARTA station and then you're right back to where you would have been anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So like knowing that now, I'm like, damn. I wish that we had known that. What was that, 2 years ago? So that way, we had avoided that whole situation. But it was crazy.
The whole thing was a nightmare.
Oh my god.
But,
yeah. I mean that show was like, there was something about that show that was like destined to like not go right. I mean, it was, who opened? Was it?
Oh, was it Out Came the Wolves?
I think it was.
The worst band I've ever seen, and I've seen them 9 times.
It was. I think it was Out Came the Wolves because, yeah, it absolutely has to have been. Yep.
Because nothing can make your night worse than saying Out Came the Wolves.
And then the Color Morale played, and that's who we were there for. So like we were like, all right, cool.
My boys.
And then it was our last night in Hands Like Houses, and it was like a co-headliner for them, and we like just didn't care about either of them.
No, because all Our Last Night sings is cover songs.
And
I was not listening to Ed Sheeran all night. That wasn't being sang by Ed Sheeran.
And Hands Like Houses is all right, but like I'm not gonna. Yeah, I mean we had other stuff to do. We wanted to go get pizza, so we left, and then everything else happened. I mean,
Yeah, but you know what? We learn and we grow.
yeah. I mean, I didn't learn a damn thing about how to change a tire from your pop tire though, because, I mean, when I popped my tire back in December, I had no idea what the hell to do at all.
I'm telling you right now, if I pop my tire tomorrow, I'm calling AAA. I still don't know.
I mean, and I still can't tell you why my tire popped. Like, right now, like almost 6 months later, I couldn't tell you what happened because we were in like the middle lane of I-20 going to Douglasville to go to the mall, and I wasn't like looking at my phone or even at the radio or any of that shit. Like I was looking straight out at the road. It's like a smooth and like finished road, and then all of a sudden I hear what sounds like a rock hitting like my side door, like my passenger side door. And, like, Cassie and I just kind of look at each other, and I'm like, huh? And she's like, yeah. And then we, like, go about our business. And then all of a sudden, you hear, like, and I was like, nuh-uh. No fuck. So I pull all the way off to the side of the road, and then, like, my tire is, like, busted. Like, there was, like, a huge hole in there.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just, like, a rock hit it in the right spot. It was, like, a gigantic, like, blown tire. And I was like, what the hell happened? And, like, I mean, I was like, okay, I probably have to call someone to tow me. But, like, I don't know. So I, like, called my dad, and I mean, it turned into, like, a 3-hour process, all things considered, because it was, like, 4:30 in the afternoon, so it was, like, almost rush hour. And then by the time I mean, we literally sat on the side of the road for an hour waiting for the tow truck to get to us, because there kept being accidents that were, like, more, like, they took priority.
Mm-hmm.
So they would, like, go and get the cars that were in accidents off the road, and then have to, like, get off the interstate and get back on because they would like miss the exit that we had, like were near. So it just took like over an hour to do that, and then he had to take us to the Walmart that was like nearby. We had to sit in that Walmart for like an hour, like while they fixed our stuff, and like this lady was sitting there talking on the phone with her husband because her daughter was pissing her off, and then her daughter walked back up from like being at the front of the store, and then they just like talked crap to each other for like 20 minutes, and I mean like they were just so loud, and then like they finally left because their car situation got sorted, and so they left, and this other woman had been sitting in there, and she just kind of looked at us, and I was like, yeah, and she just started laughing, and I was like, I've had such a bad afternoon.
Yeah, and you didn't even go to Chattanooga.
All I had to do was get to Villa Rica. I didn't have to get to Chattanooga for that one. But I have no idea. I could not tell you like why that tire popped, and my dad, when I was on the phone with him, he was like, well, don't you have like a spare that's like underneath like like in the trunk of your car? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, well, go look. And I was like,
what do you mean you don't know?
Yeah, and I was like, well, okay, I'll look. And then I look, and it's just like, I just see like kind of like the floor of the trunk, if you know, and I was like, no, there's not a tire. There's never been a tire. And then I like went home for winter break a few days later, and they lift that up, which that was a new thing I learned about the back of my car. And there's a tire sitting in the back, and I went, oh, we didn't know about all that.
Yeah.
But like,
that's a secret.
But I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do anything about it anyway. All I would have I still would have had to have someone come and do it for me.
You would have just been holding a spare tire.
Yeah, so like that was wild. That was a wild experience.
Yeah, I mean we'll probably go more in depth on our lack of knowledge on cars
and on everything
else in a few episodes where if people just want to listen to us talk about stuff we are absolutely clueless on, it would be great. I
think the people will love it.
But right now, we're about 40 minutes into our first podcast, man. How do you feel?
I feel good.
It feels natural.
Yeah.
I feel a little nervous, obviously.
Chicago, Ohio. That's a new town.
Denver,
Denver, the town.
Yeah, the town of Denver, Colorado. But I mean, other than that, it's good. I'm more worried about this recording not sounding.
Imagine that. It's gonna sound like it came out of a fucking microwave.
it's gonna be so bad.
But,
let's hope not though.
I posted that screenshot of the cliff on my story to like have people send me topics to talk about, and Victoria fucking swipes up on it and is like, this looks like it was taken with a microwave. And I was like, funny, I Googled microwave to find it. And she was like, really? And I was like, no. Not even, no. And I'm sure she was fucking around too. But like, there was like that moment of being like, no. No.
Well, we did get a few topics thrown at us. Do you want to wrap up with just like rapid fire questions and answering the people's topics? Do you want to give them more?
No, I think we just do another one. I think we just do another one. I think that there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about.
All right. Sydney did want us to do one.
Okay.
She did want us to close out the first one with this. So, and leave us comments, leave us messages, leave us whatever you want to answer to the answer of this question. If you had a dream fast food order, what would it be? For example, like if you like wanted a drink from like Burger King, but you don't like their burgers enough, but you like Wendy's burgers, like you get to pick which. So we'll just do a regular combo meal, a drink, a burger, or an entree, and then a side item.
I would even say let's do an entree, a side item, a drink, and then let's do a dessert.
Okay.
Because some of these places have like pretty decent desserts.
Okay.
So are we gonna classify fast food as like just like any place that you don't leave a tip at?
Yeah. So Steak and Shake does not count.
Any place where you like walk up to the counter and like order there, and then like they hand it to you at that counter.
Yes.
And then okay.
Yeah, that's fast food. So my beverage would be sweet tea from Chick-fil-A.
Of course.
My fries would be from Zaxby's. My burger or my main entree honestly might be the Baconator from Wendy's.
Okay.
I like the bacon. I call it a boner acre.
Boner acre.
And then I guess dessert would be anything from Sonic.
Yeah.
Working there for 2 years, you can you don't even have to order something from the menu. You can just make your own contraption, and it's always good. I'm lactose intolerant, but I fucking love milkshakes.
Oh my god, yeah.
But every lactose intolerant person loves milkshakes.
That's really a thing.
We don't care about ourselves.
That's a pretty good combination right there. Okay. I mean, how am I gonna top that?
Well, you can eat Chick-fil-A, so you're already down one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that my entree is gonna be a bacon cheeseburger from Cookout. With
I forgot about Cookout.
with barbecue sauce on the burger.
alright.
You know, I love that shit. My fries are gonna be McDonald's fries.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, never.
Absolutely.
Never.
Those fries.
I'd rather jump off this cliff than eat McDonald's French fries.
I love McDonald's fries. You know how I feel.
I know.
They're so good. Yeah. They coat them in milk. I didn't know that. They coat them in milk. And then for my drink, I'm gonna go McDonald's Coke with Sonic Ice.
Okay, so you like the ice cubes. Zaxby's also has the ice cubes.
And then I'm gonna go chocolate frosty from Wendy's for my dessert.
Good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Cool. I guess that wraps this up, huh?
That wraps it up. If you guys have any questions on where to find us, everything will be in the description of whichever thing we post this on.
Yeah.
Our personals will be there. Give us your answers to this last question if your dream fast food order. Except you, Cassie.
Yeah. No. I would love to hear what all y'all's favorite combo meals would be if you were like to mash up any fast food restaurants. I'm especially excited to hear it from like the people from like kind of like out of this region, like if they throw in like some
In-N-Outs and stuff.
In-N-Out and Whataburger type stuff. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, we're only from the southeast, so we have limited chains. Like I don't think Utah has a Zaxby's.
Really?
I think maybe they have one, but like Zaxby's has that map outside their store where like with all the locations, and the West is very, very slim on them.
And I mean, Cookout is like just this area. Like, it's just the southeast.
It's not like it's like not in Lawrenceville.
Yeah.
You know, like the only one I know about is in Gainesville and then Carrollton. But wow, first one down. Man.
Episode 1 in the books. Leave us your dream fast food combo meal if you could mash up any entree, side, drink, and dessert from any place. And leave us some stuff that you want us to jump off the cliff about. And we will see you in the next one.
Take care of yourselves, all right?